Well, Coles and Woolworths are being warned ahead of the festive season not to hike up the price of Christmas hams. Agriculture Minister Murray Watt is encouraging the supermarket giants to put a price freeze on hams and other staples so families don't go without these holidays. Both Coles and Woolies are insisting they will not look to raise prices in the run-up to Christmas. Meanwhile, Coles and Woolworths will be grilled by a Senate inquiry to investigate their market power and pricing decisions amid concerns they have profiteered during an inflationary period marked by fast rising food costs. Joining me now live is former Australia Competition and Consumer Chair, Professor Allan Fels. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Do we need tougher action against the supermarket giants?
We certainly need an in-depth investigation, and this is a very good start. The number one concern of the public is cost of living, and within that, the prices they are charged, especially for essential things. So this will start to get to the bottom of that.
Well, that's certainly the hope of it. When we look at the players overall, we've got Coles and Woolworths as the two main ones. How much of the market share did they make up?
They've got 65% of groceries. I much prefer something like the UK, where there are four big players fighting it out. Aldi does make a difference, but it's a very different shopping experience, and it's not present everywhere.
65% is quite large. Do you think that this inquiry should look at other competitors? Obviously, they don't have that same market share, but we're talking about a cost of living crisis here. Do they all need to be put under the microscope?
Well, if we could get Coles and Woolly prices down, that would take care of the prices of their competitors. So I'd stick to them, and I'd focus on the fact that it's a highly concentrated market. Are there any policy steps that could be taken? And that opens up the question of, could we have a stronger competition law? And I think it would also be useful if we looked at the possibility of there being a law within the competition law that enables breakup of big businesses, so-called divestiture, as exists in the US. Not necessarily to apply to Coles and Woolies. It might apply to others who've broken the law and the court thinks it's the right answer, but it would make them behave much more carefully.
Right, okay. Could the ACCC just go in and look at the prices?
No, it would require a reference from the government. If it has that, or if this Senate inquiry recommends that, it's got the power to dig in deep, unlike the Senate inquiry, to get all the information about their profitability, their pricing practices, state of competition, and so on.
Allan, of course, we're going into the festive season. Should there be a price freeze on hams and other staples so that families don't go without?
I'm not quite for a price freeze imposed by government, but it is a real problem, Christmas, because prices of supermarkets are responsive to demand. Demand goes up before Christmas. There's a great danger prices will go up, discounts and price cutting be stopped. That's the worry about Christmas every year.
Yeah, it certainly is. But across the board, obviously, prices are high. Why are grocery costs at an all-time high at the moment?
Well, maybe there are some global factors, but I think this really highlights the relative lack of competition we have in the Australian retail market for groceries, with just two big players. And they don't have to do anything illegal to, so to speak, coordinate their prices. They're constantly advertising price cuts and so on, but my eyes are more on the price rises that are occurring, the prices they're putting up. Strangely, they don't advertise that, just some discounts.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned also before about market saturation. What does it say about Australia's competition laws as they stand?
Well, I do think they need strengthening. The ACCC has made recommendations for a stronger merger law, and I support a breakup power, A, because sometimes it's needed, and B, it would make firms far more careful in their behaviour regarding pricing and regarding any anti-competitive misuse of their power as sort of monopolists.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll wait to see what comes out of this inquiry. Allan Fels, thank you for joining us this morning.